Hello everybody, today I can solve exponential equation word problems by reading carefully to substitute for a variable and isolating the base and taking the log of both sides. So before you do this lesson, you need to know how to solve variable exponential equations where we isolate the base and we take the log of both sides. So we're going to actually start with number 3 here. I don't know what's going on there. Here we go. 200 grams, blah, blah, blah. There's my equation. So it is important to recognize what each variable represents. I have A of t and I have t. It says A of t is the amount of the substance. And it says that t is years. Because that's going to be important when they give me a piece of information. I need to know if it's A of t or t. To the nearest hundredth, how long will it take until there are 150 grams remaining? 150 grams. Is that amount of the substance or is that years? 150 grams is the amount of the substance. That's A of t. So I'm going to replace A of t in this equation with 150. So instead of A of t equals, I'm going to write 150 equals 200.094 to the power of 2t. Now, I solve the equation. Step 1 in an exponential equation is to isolate the base. I want to get the 0.094 by itself, so I divide both sides by 200. 150 over 200. You can leave it as a decimal or a fraction. It doesn't matter. I've got 0.75 equals 0.094 to the 2t. Now that I'm isolated, I take the log or ln of both sides. It doesn't matter. So I have log 0.75 equals log 0.094 to the power of 2t. The reason I do that is the exponent comes to the front. So I have log 0.75 equals 2t log 0.094. I'm one step from the end. 2 log 0.094. 2 log 0.094. 2's cancel, logs cancel. I have log 0.75 log 0.75 over 2 log 0.094. That gives me 0.06. That's what it's asking. So I've got 0.06 to the nearest hundredth, 0.06. And that's my answer. So it gave me 150. I substituted the two 150 in for A of t. I isolated and I took the log of both sides. Once I did that, I just popped it into the calculator and I got my answer. Let's take a look at another one. Let's jump to number 2. Juliet deposits $3,000 into a bank account, blah, blah, blah. I have an equation, B of t, balance of the account. T is years. How long will it take for Juliet's money to double? Well, this is important. They do this a lot. It's indirectly telling me one of these. It wants her money to double. Well, she started with 3,000. If she started with 3,000, then she's ending with 2 times 3,000, which is 6,000. And that's $6,000. Is that her balance or is that the number of years? That's her balance. If it wants something to double, we multiply the initial by 2. If we want it to triple, we multiply the initial by 3. And once I get that value, that is the balance. That's the amount of money they have after time passes. So when it says double or triple, I'm multiplying the initial by 2 or 3 or whatever it is. It can be cut in half, then I'm multiplying by a half. And that, in this case, is the balance, not the number of years. So now it's the same thing. I'm going to replace B of t with 6,000. equals 3,000 e to the 0.042t. And now I solve. E is the base, so I isolate, divide by 3,000, divide by 3,000. 2 equals e to the 0.042t. Now that I'm isolated, I take the log, or in this case, ln of both sides. Again, you can do log of both sides. It's easier with e to take ln of both sides because ln e will cancel. That'll be more important if you move on to like pre-calc and stuff like that. But either way is fine. ln e cancels. If you wrote log e and log 2, that's fine. You'll still get to the correct answer. Divide by 0.042. T equals, go to the calculator, ln 2 over 0.042. To the nearest tenth of a year, 16.5. That's it. I'm not going to do another one. It's the same concept. Make sure you do the exponential equations lesson first. The only thing I'm going to be a little bit concerned about, when you have a fraction, when you bring it to the front, you're going to have to multiply by the LCD, but that's in the other lesson. For number 4, when you're isolating, you're going to have to subtract 400 first, but that's in the other lesson. So the math is all in the exponential equations lesson, and now we're just kind of substituting a value in and solving. That's all I got. Practice it. Definitely practice it, and have a nice day.